Hey, in this video, I just want to show you really quick how to factor perfect squares and how to spot them. Kind of like the difference of two squares, which if you haven't seen that video, I'll throw it up here just so you can check that out too. But perfect squares is one that just shows up a lot on standardized tests, shows up a lot on tests of any kind all over the place. And if you can spot it, then you can do the problem really, really quickly. And if you don't spot it, then you'll end up wasting time that you didn't need to waste. So let me show you an example. So remember, perfect squares mean that the quadratic or the trinomial is the result of some binomial squared, okay? So like this one, x squared plus 6x plus 9, as it turns out, you can factor that to just x plus 3 squared. And I mean, you can verify, I guess I'll show you really quick, just so that you're convinced. You can verify by expanding this back out, FOIL it, right? X squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. Okay, there you go. Now, I want to show you how to spot these really quickly so that you can just be like, oh, okay, that's a perfect square, and then just factor it just like that. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, it's a plus b squared, okay? We're going to expand this out, and then we're going to take a look at the structure that it creates so that you can spot it when you see it in another form. So remember, that thing is squared. That means that the group is squared. That means it's a plus b plus a plus times a plus b. It's binomial expansion. So that's going to be a squared outside plus ab plus b squared. And again, we can combine those middle terms, but it becomes 2ab plus b squared. Okay. So that is the form that perfect square trinomials will always take. It'll be something squared plus 2 times the square root of that first something times the square root of this last something times something squared. Okay? So that's the general form. Let me show you a bunch of examples, or at least a few examples, so that you feel like you can maybe spot these, okay? Here's one, 10x plus 25. Okay, if you were to see this problem and need to factor it, you should be thinking to yourself, oh, hey, that's a perfect square. How do you know? Because it fits that form. We have something squared, in this case, x is the thing being squared. And on this end, we have something squared. In this case, 5 is the thing being squared. 5 squared is 25. And in the middle, we have 2 times the thing on the left squared times the thing on the right squared. In other words, 10x. 2 times x times 5. Okay? So this is a perfect square. Okay? A pretty good tip is like if you see that the things on the ends, that the x squared term and the constant term are both perfect squares themselves, then it's a pretty good bet you should check to see whether the middle is 2 times each of their square roots multiplied together. Okay? So as soon as you get there, then you can just jump right to this answer. It becomes really fast. That's the whole point of spotting them, so that it's really quick. Okay? Let me see if I can make up another one for you on the fly. Let's see. I want something squared to be on the left. How about 9x squared? That's a nice perfect square. And then I'll want to pick some sort of thing squared to be on the right. So how about like, I don't know, 7 squared, put a 49 on the right there. And then I want the thing in the middle to be 2 times the square root of 9x squared, that's 3x, and the square root of 49, that's 7. So 3x times 7 is 21x. 2 times that is 42, 42x. Okay, so 9x squared plus 42x plus 49. I just built you another example of perfect squares. And you saw me build it, so hopefully that helped you like see how these things are built, how they look. So that hopefully that'll help you like deconstruct later. But if you were to see this in a problem, you'd go, oh look, there's a thing squared on the left, a thing squared on the right. Maybe it's a perfect square. And then maybe one way to do it is you can just be like, let's see if this works. Try that out and then expand it. You're like, oh, I'll just test this really quick so I don't lose points on this test because that would be a bummer. And so, oh, my 3, I forgot my 3. See, that's why we check our problems, kids. Because you will lose points on your test if you do stuff like I just did and you don't check your work. Boom. Okay, so 3x times 3x, okay? That's the 9x squared. And then let's see, 3x times 7 is the 21x, plus 21x, plus 49, and we did it. Okay, so that's perfect squares. If you memorize these and you keep an eye out for them, you will make your life easier and faster when it comes to mathematics. Okay, that's all for today. Catch you later.